Hello students, welcome to e-learning. We already started chapter 4, that is supply, and this is a second lecture. Now we have already completed what is the meaning of stock and supply. Today we are going to start with factors affecting supply. It is also known as determinants of supply. So here let's see what are the factors affecting supply. So the points are, first is the main important point, that is price of a good. So price of a good is a main point. Then comes, you find that factors other than price, that is price of factor of production, or we can say cost of production. Then after, you find that level of technology. Third is the future expectation regarding price, and fourth is other factors. So here in other than price you find 4 points are there, whereas price of good is a main important point. So let's start with the first point, that is price of a product or a good. Now what is happening up here, it is a very important concept, as in the introduction only I told you that demand and supply are the two most important factors, or we can say determinants of which are affecting price of a product. So here you find that it is the most important determinant of supply also. Now it has a positive relationship of price of a good and supply, as if you remember here it is told positive also is known as direct relationship, whereas if you remember for demand, in demand chapter, price of a product as well as you find that the demand for a product was having inverse relationship. What was inverse relationship? Inverse relationship means here in that demand concept, I'm talking about demand. So in demand concept, when a price increases you find that the demand was falling, and when price is decreasing you find the demand is increasing. So this is how the concept of price increase decrease having. So when a price increases, demand of the product reduces, because at a higher price people will not demand more. But when the price of product decreases, when it becomes cheaper, you find that the demand for that particular product becomes more and more. So this was the concept was on demand in demand. So this was which was been going on, but here it is opposite. There was an inverse relation, here is a direct, means when a price is less the supply will be less, but when a price automatically increase the supply of that particular product will start increasing. So this is here the concept is about when the supply. Why? Because here seller is an important person, that in demand that we can say it was on the basis of consumer concept, but here when it comes to the supply, it is who is doing the production, the producer, who is supplying, the producer, who is selling, the seller or a producer. So here on the basis you have to think according to the seller mind. So you think, suppose you are a seller of a certain product and you find that the product is cheaper, will you supply more? No, you will supply less. But suppose you feel that in future or their price is more, you will supply more. So this is what the same concept is happening in the crude oil. If you see the price of the crude oil is less, you find there is a less supply of crude oil which is being. But when a price automatically increases, you find that international market people from different places who are selling crude oils will start selling more and more barrels. They have the stock. They try to what they try to do, they wait for a time where the price is hiking up, and that time they try to sell that particular product in the market. So mostly in the crude oil we find that the Gulf countries, the different countries who are eradicating oils, crude oils with that. So what they are doing, they try to sell the crude oil at a higher price because they can attain more amount of profit, and they wait for the right time and right prices demand for the particular product, and they try to increase the price, and they try to, then only they will try to supply. So this was the thing which is happening. That's why it is been here called that that it is having a positive relation between price of a good and its supply. I hope you are getting this. So here a producer, for profit, producer sells why does a producer make product? Because he want to earn more profit. So person who is doing a businessman or producer who is manufacturing any good, he want to attain profit. So what he do, he supply more when the price of a product is rises, means when the price is hike, he supply more, because at high prices he can attain more amount of profit, and sell less when the price of a product falls. So same way you find that when the price of that product falls, you find that the supply of that particular product also decreases, and so on it comes to the end. So this is how you find the price of a product. Another example if I want to tell, it is not exactly, but we can say, we can just understanding purposes, like whenever the new phone comes, when the price is high, you find that the supply of that product will be, of mobile phone will be more. But when you find that as the time passes, you find that other phone comes in the market, and that because of that the supply of that particular product decreases, the demand decreases, and other product demand increases. And here you find that the producer will now supply less amount of that particular product until unless it has a good amount of demand in the market and it has a good price, then only he will supply more, he will produce that and supply more of that particular product. So this is what the concept is all about. I hope you are getting now. Let's move to the next topic, that is factors other than price. Now it has 4 factors. Here we are starting with the first factor, that is price of factor of production. Now what is factor of production? There are 4 factor of production, that is land, labor, capital, and the premium. Yes, so we know all about these 4 factors. Now because of this 4 only, you find that business can run, any business can start. Now with these 4 factors, if what are the payments, means if you are having a land in you given for the business purpose, you must be paying rent. Second, if you are having your own production manufacturing, you require certain workers to work in you, that is labors. So for labors you have to pay wages. Third concept, that is you require some investor to invest in your business, so you have to pay them when they invest in you, that is the capital which has been invested by the investor, you have to pay them interest. And lastly, you are the person who are doing all the, suppose you are the person and you are doing all this particular hectic work and deciding what to do and what not to do, what to produce, what not to produce, everything. Lastly you will earn profit. So here 4 factor of production. In that, suppose any factor of production the price increases, it affects directly the price of a product. Yes, how? Suppose you are producing and suppose now the wage rate has increased. The wage rate has increased. Now wage rate is means the workers there is an increment for the workers, you are paying now more for them. So what will happen, the cost of making a product which was rupees, for example, suppose for a pen I'm taking 8 rupees was a pen, like you are getting a 10 rupees cello pen. So for that it is suppose rupees 8 is the cost of making, and 1 rupee is a profit margin for the producer and 1 rupees is a profit margin for the retailer. Suppose it is like that. So what is happening up now, you find that because of increase in wage of the workers, he has made from 8 rupees to 850. Now ultimately the cost of the product increase. Yes, so now the costing which was the what he's producing the pen in the previous time, it was 8 rupees, now it is costing 8.50 rupees. So now what we will do, if suppose he takes 1 rupees, it will become 950 and he have to go to the retailer and retailer will earn less profit. So ultimately when this particular type of thing happens, you find that the profit become less. So whenever the profit become less, there is an increase in the price of a product. If you just look out your past, when you are from the first standard and now at this present, you find that there are so many products which came and went and so many products which are still there, but their quantity and quality have been changed and the price also have been changed. So why it is so and what is it? So because of the transportation, because of the cost of production is becoming higher and higher. So this is what the concept is about. So here when factor of production, that is I told you about only the labor, but it can be land. So if because you find that land prices are increasing continuously, because as the time has passed, you find that the rents of the land also increases. Not only land, suppose it is a factory also taken on the rent purposes, so that also can be increased if they increases the rent. So all the different factors which are involved in producing a good, if there is an increase in that particular production, in that particular price, you find that it affects directly to the cost of production, and the product producing, the manufacturing cost or the producing cost will increase, that is the cost of a product will increase, and this will affect us. So here it has been told here, the cost of production includes rent of landowner, wages to the labor, interest on capital of the investors, and if this particular thing increase or decrease, it affects directly to the price of a product, and then after it affects the supply of the product. Yes, because what all thing happen, like I told you, that pen which was costing 8 rupees, now it is 8.50. You find that automatically the price had increased, and people, when the retailer is having only 50 paisa margin, what he will do? Will he sell that particular product? No, because previously he was selling for 1 pen 1 rupee he was getting, now it is getting only 50 paisa for 1 pen. So this becomes a loss for retailer, and what he will do, he will not demand for it, and automatically you find when a price increases, you will also supply less. So you wanted to supply more, but that demand decreases, because of that you find that the supply is been affected. They will not ask for them, they will go with a different company. So this is how you find that increase and decrease affects the product. Again, you find that when a cost increases, when a cost decreases, the profit increases, and a cost of production increases, the profit decreases. You have to remember this concept. अगर पैसे मीन्स जो भी प्रोडक्ट है उसका बनने का कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगा तो उसका सप्लाई कम, प्रॉफिट बढ़ जाएगा, उसका प्रोडक्शन we can say cost of production is less. So what is happening, the owner will earn more profit, and you find that when cost of production is increases, he will attain less profit. And that time when owner only earns less profit, what happens, he will try to reduce the supply of that particular product. Clear? Then if the cost of production suppose decreases and the price is unchanged, सपोज 8 रुपीज़ का पेन अगर 7 रुपीज़ में बन रहा है और वो प्राइस 10 रुपीज़ में ही सोल्ड हो रहा है, तो क्या होगा, सेलर विल प्रोड्यूस मोर एंड सो दैट ही कैन अटेन मोर अमाउंट ऑफ प्रॉफिट. So price remains unchanged and the seller is willing to sell at a higher quantity. So more amount of quantities are being sold by the, we can say, seller. I hope you have been getting with this point. Second point talks about level of technology. Now level of technology, if you find we are living in the IT era, technology has been so much advanced. So with that you find that so many producers or manufacturing firms still which are been using the older concept. So you find that their production time takes more, and whereas new technology production times take less, there are less efforts and less time is being used. So here you find that when a state of technology advances means when you having an advanced technology, your time and efforts are being saved. So it is happening. So second, if you're having better types of, if you want to give better quality of goods, you have to, and at a lower cost, you have to go with new technologies. Yes, you find that in your mobile phones only, you find that from last 5 years you have changed, your parents must be changing the different phones because of the different technology, because it gives faster. Now there is 2 GB RAM, 3 GB RAM mobiles are not used, only 6 GB RAMs of mobiles are being used with the very big data storage. Before it was only 16 GB storage was been coming, 32 GB was been coming, which was very big amount that time. But the era has been changed. Now you find that they require more space. So with the different technology, you find that different quality of goods also comes, and it costs cheaper and cheaper. So you need to go upgrade yourself. That is the main seller who is producing good. If he is using the old technique only and the time and efforts are more in that, you find that he cannot able to produce more of goods, and because of that he will not able to produce more of goods, the supply will be less. Suppose you are in that particular seller is installing new technology, you find that the efforts are less and the time is also saved, and machine, that is the capital, that is machine which we are been there, that is will start producing more and more faster and faster. And second thing, that is the labor cost will also become reduced. That's why the cost of that particular production also becomes less. If a market price does not fall, the profit increases and a seller will sell more. Here also same thing. Suppose आपने नया technology, you are the seller and the seller has installed a new technology and it makes the product we can say twice, the production is became twice because of that. So what is happening up now, the price is the same, profit is the same, and you find that now what is happening, the supply is more. When the supply is more, he will sell more, and when the selling is been done more, we can say he will get more amount of profit. So this is how profit has been increased with the same price, but due to change in technology. But suppose you are using the old technology or it is taking more efforts and time, you find that it will affect, the production will be less, and the less production, less supply, more production, more supply. So that's why level of technology also depends. Now many countries uses advanced technology so that they can produce more as well as at a lower cost. Why lower cost? It's the second important thing, because when machine comes on behalf of human, you find that human labors are becoming lesser and machines are given more importance, and because of that you find that on machines they require what fuel, that is only electricity. So electricity is only required for them for running all these things. So electricity is cheaper compared to the wages for all the, we can say, workers. So now you find that when labors become less, you find that all money has been invested in the electricity, and apart from that electricity is very cheaper. You find that when a company, when you're using in at a bigger scale, you find that it becomes cheaper. So this is why you find that the cost of that production becomes less, and now the production is more, so he will supply more, and we find that he attain more amount of profit. So that was the second point. Third point talks about the future expectation regarding price. Now what is happening? A future expectation. Suppose a product is there at present, like you find many times, like when we try to purchase gold, we try to assume that in future, suppose the gold prices are going to reduce by 500 or 1000 also for this particular $1. So what is it? You find that 10 grams, if it is been reducing, you find that you will purchase that time. So this is what you try to expect in future, the price of gold is going to increase or decrease, and on that basis you try to purchase gold if you're having the money. Same way here, if in future seller also thinks that for my product, the prices are going to increase or decrease, so if on the basis of that he try to supply more. Suppose a seller feels that in future my product prices are going to increase, what will happen? He will stop the supply, or he will lesser the supply in the present times, and he will wait for the time where the price is increasing, and that time he will do more of supply, because अभी उसने सप्लाई कम कर दिया तो जितना सप्लाई बच रहा है, जितना प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है, वो साइड पे स्टोर हो रहा है, एंड ही विल स्टोर दैट, एंड इन फ्यूचर व्हेन द प्राइस इज राइज ही विल सप्लाई plenty ample amount of we can say stock has been supplied by the seller at that time, so that he can attain more profit, because प्रोडक्शन तो जितने स्केल पे हो रहा है उतना स्केल पे ही हो रहा है, बट ही हैज़ बीन स्टोर्ड एंड ही वेटेड फॉर द फ्यूचर टाइम. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग अप इन फ्यूचर एक्सपेक्टेशन प्राइस. सो वेन एवर यू थिंक इफ योर प्राइस आर फॉलिंग, व्हाट यू विल डू, तो आप क्या करोगे? आपका प्रोडक्शन कम कर दोगे, एंड ऑन दैट लेस प्रोडक्शन ओनली यू ट्राई टू सेल दैट, एंड यू फाइंड दैट द सप्लाई इज लेस, द सेलिंग इज लेस, द प्रॉफिट इज ऑल्सो लेस. सो दिस पर्टिकुलर इज डायरेक्टली अफेक्टेड, दैट्स वाई. So this is how you find that it has been going on. So this is what is happening. if अगर फ्यूचर में प्राइस बढ़ने वाला है तो अभी सप्लाई कम कर देंगे, अगर फ्यूचर में प्राइस कम होने वाला है तो अभी सप्लाई ज़्यादा कर देंगे, तो जितना अभी ये प्रेजेंट प्राइस पे जितना सोल होगा वो अच्छा रहेगा, और प्रॉफिट होता रहेगा. अगर फ्यूचर में लॉस हो जाए उससे अच्छा बेटर कि अभी प्रॉफिट कर लो. सो दिस इज व्हाट अ कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सेलर इज ऑल अबाउट. Now, I hope you have been clear. Let's go with the fourth point, that is other factors. Now, other factors include so many different things, like you find that supply increases when there is increase in number of funds. Yes, suppose Coca-Cola, Pepsi ले लो, Thumbs Up ले लो, ये three are the same color liquid. You find soda which has been there, or soft drink which have been there, which have been supplied. Now, you find that whenever there is a change in price, or if there is any scheme in Pepsi, you find the same way has been copied or done by the Thumbs Up and followed by the Coca-Cola. Now these three brands are leading one, and they come one after another, and you find that they are in very much demanded in the market. Now as talking about here, suppose यहाँ पे उन लोग को कौन से फैक्टर्स अप्लाई करते हैं, मीन्स मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट ये था कि एक मीन्स वन सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक, इट इज़ नॉट फॉर वन ब्रांड, देयर आर डिफरेंट ब्रांड्स विच आर गिविंग द सेम टाइप ऑफ सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक, ओनली माइन्यूट और डिफरेंट चेंजेस ओनली आर देयर. सो उस हिसाब से उन लोग सप्लाई ज़्यादा करेंगे. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर कोई बंदा दूसरे का प्रोडक्ट ले लेगा, मीन्स डिफरेंट कंपनी सेम आइडेंटिकल प्रोडक्ट इज बिन परचेज, तो आपका सेलिंग कम हो जाएगा. तो दैट्स वाई यू हैव टू सप्लाई मोर. अगर सब मीन्स एवरी पीपल व्हेन यू गो टू द शॉप यू फाइंड एवरीवेयर देयर इज पेप्सी. सो व्हाट यू फाइंड दैट पेप्सी इज द डिमांडेड वन, एंड यू ट्राई टू परचेज मोर. यू विल नॉट गो लाइक जो नहीं मिल रहा है उसके पास नहीं जाओगे, जो दिख रहा है वही देखोगे. यस, सो दैट इज़ व्हाट इज़ द कॉन्सेप्ट इज. दैट्स वाई अगर सप्लाई मीन्स अगर मार्केट में कॉम्पिटिटर ज़्यादा है और वो प्रोडक्ट ज़्यादा है सेम आइडेंटिकल, तो आपको वो सप्लाई बढ़ना पड़ेगा. उसके अलावा दूसरा क्या है, व्हेन पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी एग्जिस्ट, मीन्स पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी हो रहा है, तो नेचुरल तो मीन्स व्हेन देयर इज़ अ पॉलिटिक्स आर बिन देयर, लाइक हमारा जैसे इलेक्शन के टाइम है ऐसे हुए, तो इट वॉज अ हाई टाइम, वहाँ पे आपको मार्केट में भी सब कुछ उतार चढ़ाव दिखेगा. बट हियर टॉकिंग अबाउट द पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी, व्हेन नाउ वी नो दैट बीजेपी के इट इज़ फॉर द 5 years. नाउ व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग अप फॉर दैट, तो अगर कोई पॉलिसी चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, कोई मीन्स मेंबर एमएलए कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं कर रहा, कोई पॉलिसी चेंज नहीं हो रहा, तो इस हिसाब से आप सप्लाई करोगे. नेचुरल कंडीशन कैसा है वो देखोगे ना. व्हाट आर द नेचुरल कंडीशन, सपोज यहाँ पे सुनामी ये वगैरह वो हो रहा है, तो आपका प्रोडक्शन कम हो जाएगा, आप सप्लाई लेस करोगे. बाद में सपोज लॉ एंड ऑर्डर चेंज हो गया है, अगर उसका कोई सिस्टम चेंज कर दिया गवर्नमेंट ने, तो वो भी डायरेक्टली अफेक्ट करेगा किसको, इंडस्ट्री को. द इंडस्ट्री विल स्टॉप, वी कैन से दे विल स्टार्ट गोइंग विद डिफरेंट अमाउंट amount of production. Like एक simple concept we have to think, that is suppose in 2016 when GST came, goods and service tax, you find that so many products the price became lesser and so many products the price became more because of the tax. Now everywhere you find the same tax has been applied further, they have been categorized different types of goods. Now earlier कैसा होता था कि भाई अलग अलग स्टेट में अलग अलग टैक्सेस रहता, तो उस हिसाब से सप्लाई होता था. मतलब सपोज गुजरात का प्रोडक्शन है, गुजरात इज बिन सेलिंग, द वेट टैक्स इज नियर टू 4 to 8%. अगर वो वेट टैक्स लगता था, नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ GST इट इज़ नाउ 9%, 18%, somewhere 28% of the GST is been taken. So this is a limiting factor where factories are not producing more for some of the products because it is costing more, they have to pay high amount of taxes. So बहुत सारे अलग अलग political, legal, mechanical, we find that condition, natural condition, political condition, legal system, law and order, ये सब कुछ देख के वो लोग प्रोड्यूस करते so that उन लोग का बिजनेस ठप ना हो जाए. So here you find that industrial relationship, when industrial relations are maintained between the owner and workers of the production, marketing activities etc., supply decreases when all the above factors are against supply. अगर ये सब factors जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, legal, political, we can say, that has been affecting to the supply, what is happening up, then you find that your factors, or we can say your supply is directly affected and it is getting decreased. अगर ये उन लोग के फेवर में है तो वो सप्लाई मेंटेन करते रहेगा. आई होप यू हैव बीन क्लियर विद ऑल द फैक्टर ऑफ प्रोडक्शंस. थैंक यू. If you find any doubt, anything, you just message or call me, whichever point. If you're having point doubt, you can message me. Thank you.